Welcome back to DAGryffyn Hobby. My name's Dave. It's time for the train haul portion of my train store road trip. This past weekend I had to make a trip down to Virginia, so I figured I might as well stop at some train stores along the way. First, I stopped at Just Trains in Newark, Delaware. The second stop was Toy Trains and Collectibles in Manassas, Virginia. Third, Tiny Tim's Toys in Ashland, Virginia. And the next day, I stopped at Dale's Trains in Norfolk, Virginia. Now, I'd like to think I was very reserved, and yes, I bought something in each store, but you have to support the hobby stores. I could have done a lot more damage to my wallet, but I tried to be a good boy. This was the first time I was at Just Trains, and I gotta tell you, it is a fantastic store. The guy who runs it, Pete, very friendly, very knowledgeable, has such an awesome selection of trains. He makes it up to a lot of the local train shows, so I know I'm gonna be seeing him again. What did I buy there? I gotta remember. I had no plans to look for anything particular. I mean, there's always the types of things that I want floating around in the back of my mind, but I didn't have any particular goal. So I was looking around for something that grabbed my interest and was in a sub $200 price range. Sure, there were plenty of things in the $300, $400, $500 range that really grabbed me, but I didn't want to do too much financial damage at one time. And since it was the first stop, I really didn't know what I would be finding on the rest of my journey. So while there were many things that I could have considered purchasing, I came home with this K-Line Porter set. I just thought the little engine was so neat, and it smokes, and it was just different than so much of what I have. Now, this set had been opened, but it does not look like it was used very much. The rollers look like it may have run a little, but the rest of it is brand new looking. And it's such a neat little engine. From what I've read, it's grossly overscaled, but that's not the sort of thing that bothers me. Number 15, Pennsylvania Porter. These K-Line sets come with scale couplers. So, I mean, that just looks really neat. I probably wouldn't tend to run this backwards and pull something with it, so I'll leave that scale coupler up front. Depending what I pull with it, I might change this out for a more traditional sized coupler. Early on in the design process of the layout, I had considered putting a narrow gauge train in one or two of the mountains and have a little mine train kind of crawling through. For simplicity's sake, I kind of abandoned that, but I've kind of wanted equipment that would kind of fill that need. And this engine and set is just really cool. Now, it's not a mine train. It's got 3 boxcars with it. It's got 3 of these Empire Line Dairy Products Pennsylvania cars. And whether or not I use these with that engine or switch it up, these are gorgeous. The colors are really nice. It's got some nice details on there. It's very, very neat. And I do find the scale couplers to be very interesting. So if I end up using this for something other than the cars that it came with, I was thinking these 3 cars, or 2 or 1 of them, would look really good on a siding as part of a static display. So either way, it's going to get used. I know I just opened this, but I love this thing. It is so adorable and fun. It's such a cool looking engine. The switches for the reverse unit and the smoke unit are right under here. Just flip it up and there they are. Took me a minute to find those. It's such a neat little engine. It's got some really nice details, and I think I'm really going to enjoy running it. My second stop of the day was at Toy Trains and Collectibles in Manassas, Virginia. I spent a nice time there chatting with Dan and a couple of customers and really enjoyed the visit to his store. Lots of really good stuff to see. Now, again, how do you make a decision when you're looking around a store like that and you find so many awesome items? How do you find something that's worth going home with? Now, I know a lot of people have items that they're always looking for. I'm just looking for something that interests me, and that's a deal. There were a number of things that interested me, but what I decided to come home with is Bethlehem Steel Ore Car by RMT. Now, not just one of them. I came home with 6, which I got for a great deal. Part of my problem with smaller cars like an ore car is I feel like you need enough of them. Otherwise, it's just a really short train. So luckily he had a huge stack of the Bethlehem Steel cars. So 6 of them came home with me, and I got to get them on the rails. I have to say, these ore cars are very cool. I like the amount of detail. They feel nice and sturdy. They've got good weight to them, and they're just all around good looking cars, especially for the price. Now, I'm also a fan because apparently it's a New Jersey company, unfortunately. I do have to say, I'm trying to be perfectly honest about the stuff that I get and when things are good and when they're not. The wheels seem to be all spaced too far apart, and they won't sit on the rails. I'm assuming these were new in box. The plastic inserts were sealed. They have a label on one side, a piece of tape on the other. It does not look like they were messed with. I could probably just squeeze them together with pliers, but in the meantime, I did reach out to the company. They have an email address on their website, so I sent them an email, and hopefully I'll hear back from them soon. So when I do, I will certainly update you on what a possible fix could be for this, or if I just need to squeeze the wheels together with a pair of pliers and get them rolling. Okay, so it's currently Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock, and I got a reply to the email I sent to Ready Made Trains within like 15 minutes. They let me know that they're aware of the issue. There was a problem with the trucks on these cars. They're currently developing new trucks, which should be available in about a month. So they took my address, and they'll send trucks to me when they're available. Now, that type of customer service more than eclipses any issue you might have with something when you purchase it. I mean, to respond that quickly and have a solution, I'm thrilled. So I'll definitely be buying some stuff from Ready Made Trains again. My third stop of the day was Tiny Tim's Trains and Toys in Ashland, Virginia. I seem to have misplaced their business card, or I forgot to grab one. I spent a good amount of time there, checking out the store, and chatting with Sue and Sonia. They were very friendly and loved sharing any and all information about the store, the area, and the train groups. It is definitely the type of place that you can spend a lot of time, not just in the store, but up and down the street. I mean, how many train stores have a double track main line outside the store in the middle of the street? While I was there, a freight train went one direction, and a little while later, an Amtrak went the other. That was loud, but very cool. And they seem to have a really great community in that area. Lots of great places to go, and apparently they have music on nice evenings, and it's just such a cool location. I walked around and looked at everything for quite some time, and I wasn't sure what would be a good item from that store that I would enjoy having and also remind me of the store itself. And there were a couple items I was back and forth on. Of course, there were a number of really nice items that were out of my price range, and I was trying to think of, do I just get some rolling stock, get some basic stuff that I probably will forget where I got it from, or do I get something else? And Sonia was showing me around and pointing out some great stuff, and they have some custom run stuff for the Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac Railroad. It's not a railroad I had heard of, but then again, my knowledge of rail is pretty lacking. There were a couple cabooses they had, a red one and a blue one, some engines that were all done up in the RF&P scheme. Once she showed those to me, I was like, okay, I've got to get an RF&P to go home with me. Sure, an engine would have been nice. Maybe that's the next time. So what did I get? Well, it's an MTH Rail King, and it is a very cool blue extended vision RF&P caboose. And it's just a really nicely done caboose. So sure, I don't have anything RF&P to run it behind, but I'm okay with that. This is awesome. I'm not going to forget where I got it. And now, next time I'm passing through Ashland and I stop at Tiny Tim's, I'm going to really want to buy an engine. So I might have to save up for that trip. Dale's train station. If you haven't been there, you need to go. I've been there a few times now. The guys over at Crossed Anchors have done some really good walk-around videos in that store. It's a great place. There's just so much to see. It's mostly trains, but they've got some old toys in there too, and you really could just spend a day in that store looking at everything. I had to meet family for lunch, so I had to wrap up, make a decision, and get out of there, but I can always count on finding something really good there. And it's always great to chat with Miss Gloria, who runs the store. She's so friendly and just makes the visit really, really enjoyable. But then again, how could you not enjoy a visit to a train store like that? The real question, though, is what did I come home with from Dale's? They've got a lot of new stuff, a lot of old stuff, and everything in between. Now, they don't have a lot of junk box items, but there is a Tupperware that I've seen each time I've been there, and you always have to look through. You never know what you're gonna find. So in the 3 for $25 bin, I found a Lehigh Valley hopper, another Lehigh Valley hopper, and the Alcoa aluminum car. Yeah, it's missing one of the doors up top, but that's okay. This is in really nice shape for being in a junk bin. Labels are even in good shape. I think they're in better shape than my other Alcoa car that I have. I was just really excited to see this, and I didn't need these, but that doesn't matter. I have a bunch, and I love having them. For 25 bucks for these 3 cars, that's a major win. Like the rest of the stores, I could have spent so much money there. So many cool sets. They had a set of the Pennsylvania Reading Seashore Lines passenger cars. And I will probably regret not picking them up. But I still have, an issue spending more than 25 bucks per car. And these were a 3-car set for I think the list is 350 bucks. And I just couldn't, especially not when I had already stopped at 3 other stores. But something caught my eye pretty much as soon as I walked in. Okay, well, that's a lie. The first thing that caught my eye when I walked in are 2 beautiful Atlantic Coastline sets that she had just picked up that were on display. And one was, I guess, an MTH set with purple E8s, I believe, and purple passenger cars. And, oh, wow. Would have looked awesome. But the second thing that caught my eye was another K-Line set. And I saw it, I looked at it, and I was like, okay, there's more here. I can't decide yet what I'm going to get. So I walked around, and there's so many things that I really, really wanted. But this set, it felt right because I just picked up that other Porter set. So this one is the Plymouth Switcher set for the Reading Railroad. And this one is still wrapped, brand new. So I'm gonna crack this open and we'll get a closer look at it. The details on this little switcher are just so cool. I mean, they even bothered to put a little string here for the bell. It's just a really nice piece. The switches for this one, for the smoke and the reverse unit, are underneath. This is just really cool. I just really like the redding scheme on it. The green and yellow, the logo on the back. It just looks awesome. And it is tiny compared to that Porter. Minuscule. Now, unfortunately, the smoke fluid that was included in the box leaked. But everything's in plastic, so it didn't get on anything. So that's great. What I really like about this set is that it comes with 6 cars. I mean, the cars are absolutely tiny, but it's great that it comes with 6. And it goes along well with the Porter set, or the thought behind it being that I wanted like a mine train somewhere. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on DAGryffyn Hobby.